Let's talk about adding and subtracting polynomials. Earlier last week, we discussed what polynomials were and how you could take different terms and different monomials and group them together to make a polynomial. We discussed what their degree could be, their exponent, whether it was quadratic, if it had an exponent of 2 or a degree of 2, if it were linear, if it had a degree of 1. We talked about the different types of polynomials that you can classify them by how many terms they had, how many pieces were separated by plus and minus signs. So maybe it was a trinomial and had 3 different terms. Maybe we said it was a 5-term polynomial, meaning it had 5 terms. Maybe it was a binomial with 2 terms. We did give those options last week. But now I want to talk about what happens when I see these things and I see polynomials and I'm going to add them together or I'm going to subtract them from one another. Adding polynomials, the good news is it's very simple. A lot of the times what you will see in the directions will say to you, simplify. Well, that's good. We've been simplifying things for a very long time. We did something similar to this way back when we were solving linear equations. Something I would say to you is, hey, do you have any like terms? Let's combine them. And we know that like terms are pieces that have the same variable with the same exponent. So what I want to do is find out in here, in these 2 equations that I have, do I have any like terms? And I do. What I've done for you is I have underlined them in the different colors to represent what terms go together. So I have something over here, I have 3x to the 4th power. Well, 3x to the 4th power is a like term to 6x to the 4th power. Negative 5x squared, or negative 5x to the 2nd power, is in the same family as plus 2x to the 2nd power, or plus 2x squared. And the 1 is the same in the like term as the negative 7. So the first thing I need to do is combine these like terms. I want to take 3x to the 4th plus 6x to the 4th. Well, 3x to the 4th and 6x to the 4th makes 9x to the 4th power. Negative 5x squared, I want to combine with 2x squared, which would give me negative 3x squared. And 1 and negative 7 combined, 1 minus 7 gives me negative 6. So that's kind of where we're at here. We have that 3 and the 6 to make 9x to the 4th. Negative 5x squared plus 2x squared makes negative 3x squared, and 1 minus 7 makes negative 6. We are in a very good position here. This is in standard form. We talked about standard form very briefly the other day. Standard form meaning your exponents, your degrees, are in decreasing order. You want the highest degree first, and we have that here with this x to the 4th, then x to the 2nd power, or x squared, and then this constant here at the end. So these are in standard form, and you have successfully just added these 2 polynomials together to get this one. So I'm going to give you a second. I'll talk through the first one with you, and then I'll give you a second to try out these 2, and we'll put them in. I want to look at what my like terms might be. What are my like terms in these first 2 polynomials? Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to underline my like terms here. There we go. 6x squared, x squared, same variable and same exponent, x squared on the 6 and the x squared on the 3, and the 7 and the negative 1 are both constants. So step 2 from adding polynomials together is to combine these things and then put them in standard form, which would look like this. 6x to the 2nd power and 3x to the 2nd power is 9x squared, and 7 minus 1 makes 6. So I'm going to give you a second to try these next 2. Were you right? Let me know. I hope you were. Everything is color-coded again in like terms. You'll see down here this 9 does not have any other friends. It doesn't have a like term on the other piece here. So it's its only purple piece, and it just kind of hangs out at the end. You cannot combine things that are not like terms. Same with the red. Negative g to the third power is the only thing. There is no other g to the third power, so I'm going to just subtract g to the third power here. These are, you can see, this is a good example of standard form, as you can very clearly see the exponents for the variables going down. Now, I know I said we're going to do adding and subtracting polynomials, so what would make subtracting polynomials any different from adding? What makes this different? Well, we have to do something with this negative symbol in the middle. We have to distribute the negative. We did talk about this way back when we did linear equations, and we would solve, and we would have to get rid of, we would know that there was a pretend 1 in the front, so we would distribute the negative 1 through to all of the pieces here. So you do have an extra step this time. That step being, hey, I'm going to distribute the minus sign. I have it here. I want to distribute it to the 3n, and I want to distribute it to the 8. That is step 1. That is something different that we did not do before, but now we are going to distribute the minus sign first, and then discuss any like terms. So if we distribute the minus sign, I made everybody red that was distributed by that minus sign. Negative 5n and minus 2 stayed the same. There was nothing to touch here. However, when I distribute that negative 1, that secret little 1 that's here, negative 1 times 3n is a minus 3n, and negative 1 times 8 is minus 8. I can go through my like terms just like we did with adding. 5n and minus 3n give me 2n, and negative 2, let's move this guy over here. Negative 2 and negative 8 give me minus 10, and that is my first case in subtracting polynomials. So same as before, I'm going to give you a second. You're going to type your answers in, and we'll see if you are correct. Remember to distribute your negative signs. Distribute your minus sign. Pretend that there is a fake little negative 1 right in here. There is a fake little negative 1, and we want to distribute him to all of our parts. That is your first step. Let's see if you get these right. Step by step, you can see the different parts here and your final answers down the bottom in standard form. You are not doing final answers. They are not a final answer unless they are in standard form. And that, my friends, is how you add and subtract polynomials.